This one question tests a lot of different angle rules all at once. Some of them are given to us in the reference chart at the beginning of the math sections, but a lot of them we do need to memorize. My advice whenever you have angles is just put everything you can on the page. You never know what's going to help. So we can start by using what they already gave us, that AB is equal to AC. So that means that this is an isosceles triangle. We'll get back to that in a second, but the SAT likes to kind of sneak this in there without telling you it's isosceles. They're going to give you some other way of kind of knowing that it's isosceles. So you got to make sure you put everything on the picture. The first thing I would do is use the angle 114. And angle AB or ACB here is going to be supplementary to that 114. So we don't have a calculator, so we got to do it by hand, but we can just subtract the 114 from 180 to get the remaining angle. So that's going to be 66. So right in here is 66 degrees. Why is that helpful? Well, now we can bring in the isosceles triangle thing, because an isosceles triangle has two congruent sides that are opposite two congruent angles. So that means the other angle up here is 66 degrees. And there are ways of using that now to kind of get to why. My advice is to just stick to the easiest things. And so for me, the easiest thing here is that there is a triangle, and every triangle has also 180 degrees. So I've got this big triangle. It's 180 degrees. We have two 66-degree angles, 66-degree angles already accounted for. If we subtract that out, I'm going to skip all the arithmetic, we should be able to get that there are 48 degrees left in this triangle. So that means this angle A down here is 48 degrees. Now the one piece of information we haven't used yet is that lines L and M are parallel. And so what that means is if we see this shape right here, we should recognize that from geometry class in school. Two parallel lines cut by a third line, which is sometimes called a transversal. And so what that means for us is that the alternate interior angles are congruent. I don't care if you ever learn these words, just know that the angle Y is going to be congruent to this kind of like zigzaggy angle on the bottom there. So 48 degrees is the value of Y because the lines are parallel. So we used a lot of rules here. You've got to memorize them. You've got to be able to recognize all the little tiny things going on in a bigger picture. But my advice is just keep putting angles, keep putting measurements on your geometry picture. You never know what's going to help you move the question along. So any idea you have, no matter how dumb it seems, write it down. It's probably part of the solution.